Hey man, I'm having some trouble.
What's wrong?
Well, you know how the world's been drastically changing the past 2 years?
No, I honestly haven't noticed.
Well, I'm finding it harder and harder to stay in denial about what's really going on.
Sounds tough.
Yeah, I want to stay more committed to being wrong rather than admitting that I was wrong. But I'm struggling because things are getting pretty obvious.
So you're having trouble staying in denial?
Yes.
Well, that's where you're going wrong. Denial isn't enough anymore. You need to be in denial that you're in denial.
Oh, so like 2 layers of denial?
Exactly.
So you're not in denial?
No, not at all.
Oh, I see.
You're in denial that you're in denial.
Precisely.
It's kind of like blissful intelligence, except it's numbness and not intelligent instead.
That's inspirational.
Oh, did you see the leader of the EU wants to get rid of the Nuremberg Code?
Isn't the Nuremberg Code that thing that was put in place after the Nazis' genocide of the Jewish people under the guise of medicine and science in order to protect the population from that same thing ever happening again?
Sure is, but I think now they're wanting to get rid of what protects people in order to better protect people.
Wouldn't that open the door for the same thing to happen again?
Probably, but I don't think that's the question they want us to ask.
What question do they want us to ask?
How many of those 3 scumbag white people that Kyle Rittenhouse shot in self-defense were innocent black people that he murdered out of hate?
I'd say at least 4.
If not 5. And do you see how when we're talking about things like this, you've already forgotten about that important question that you asked?
What question?
Now we're talking. That's great. I read the other day that Webster's dictionary changed the definition of the word anti-vaxxer.
Hey man, reading's uninclusive to people who are too dumb to read.
I know. I'll write those idiots an apology letter tomorrow.
Great.
What'd they change the definition to? They changed the definition to include anyone who's against any law or mandate. I could imagine that it's important to occasionally change the definition of words in order to stay consistent with the truth that the word was originally designed to represent. Yeah, the new definition makes me think that totally sane people who just want their God-given right to freedom and body autonomy are insane. They couldn't be more insane, based on what the now less accurate dictionary tells me to think.
Hey man, what's that?
Oh, I just got the latest booster that was designed for 2 variants ago in order to protect me from the current variant. And now, instead of a sticker, they just give you one of these.
Looks cool. What's it mean?
I don't know, but they told me it's what I am now. Powerful. A lot of people are getting microchipped now.
Dude, that's a crazy conspiracy theory.
Dude, it's been 2 years since we've been saying that, but people are doing it now. It's reality. Over 6,000 people in Sweden got microchipped. It's literally Stockholm Syndrome.
Of course.
How'd we survive so long not being microchipped and tracked by dangerous people that lie to us? I don't know, but could you imagine how convenient it would be not having to carry our papers and not having any freedoms because we got microchipped? It would be delightful. Oh, speaking of showing your papers, in Austria, now they've put unobedient, uninjected people into an indefinite lockdown. Even better than that, Austria passed a law that requires all citizens to be injected by February, and if they don't, they go to prison. I just wish they could be even more strict and more obvious with what they're really doing.
What are they really doing?
Well, obviously taking away all resemblance of freedom in order to protect their people from a disease with a very dangerously high rate of survival. You can only imagine what kind of dirt the cabal has on the Austrian leaders.
Are authoritarian and Australian the same thing?
No, Australia's the thing that the authoritarians have taken over.
That's right.
It's also the place where a long time ago they rounded up all the Aboriginals and treated them like they were less than human. Oh, and they're doing that again today. I wonder if they like it now. Well, I think they do because the Aboriginals recently sent out an SOS for international help against the current genocide they're facing because the now authoritarian Australian government is doing the same thing today under the guise of medicine and science.
Can't get rid of the Nuremberg Code fast enough now, can we?
They're also arresting teenagers for leaving their homes.
Well, there's 2 sides to every story.
And they're also putting people into camps.
I love camping.
Me too. And the largest protests in human history are happening every weekend in places like Australia, Germany, France, and Belgium, with people standing up against the mandates. Well, because the mainstream media chooses to black them out, I refuse to acknowledge that they're happening because doing so would invalidate my whole commitment to not changing my mind since this whole thing began.
I believe in science as well. But do you think history's repeating itself?
Well, I mean, the faster the, what are they called again?
The cabal?
Right. The faster they can erase our records of history, the more we'll think the answer is no, which will help us go into peaceful slavery, well, more peacefully.
Do you ever think we're in an endless pattern of new variant, fear-mongering, new lockdowns, new booster, more freedoms being eroded away?
No, I'm pretty sure these first 3 times are the only times it'll happen. And besides, you get to upgrade your awareness to tunnel vision when you refuse to acknowledge patterns in life.
I already don't know how to do that.
And not knowing's half the battle.
Well, I should get going. Where I live is currently not in a lockdown, but I want to go home and practice.
Okay, but, what are you wearing that for?
Well, the guys that abused me told me to wear it so I'm more controllable for my protection.
You are lucky having them look out for you.
Yeah, my soul has to leave my body just to cope with how well protected I allow myself to be. Bye-bye! I hate to say it, but 'tis the season where the censors like to disconnect freedom fighters like you and I. So to ensure that you and I stay connected in the face of growing censorship, I'd love to have you join my Awaken Warrior newsletter list at awakenwithjp.com/join me. See you on the inside. I would like to thank the sponsor of this video, Magnesium Breakthrough by Bioptimizers. This is a beautiful time of year to get together with our families and talk about politics with people who don't know how to think correctly, and we get to educate them on how they should be thinking, but it can be stressful. And have you ever found when you're yelling louder and louder, saying the same thing that you've already told the person while you seek to understand them less, that doesn't actually help your stress? Or oddly enough, it doesn't help change their mind. But what can help your family induce stress is Magnesium Breakthrough. And it also helps reduce other forms of stress as well. I take Magnesium Breakthrough religiously. Why are you so religious, JP? Well, personally, I like to feel and function my best, and reducing stress is a must if you want to feel and function your best. By taking a couple Magnesium Breakthroughs in the evening, it's an effective way for me to reduce my stress so I can feel good in my mind, body, and my life. But unfortunately, clinical trials show Magnesium Breakthrough can't change your family members to be the way you want them to be. But it's great at reducing your stress if you're into that. And unlike many other supplements, Magnesium Breakthrough contains all 7 forms of magnesium that your body needs in order to effectively reduce your stress. So if you want to reduce your stress this holiday season, or during a season where there's no holidays but you're stressed because you want holidays, then you can check out Magnesium Breakthrough at magnesiumbreakthrough.com/JP. And be sure to use a discount code JP2021 for the healthiest deal ever.